again, and welcome to Coach Asare's feedback for the players and parents of the Southall Youth Under 11s A team. What a special season these boys are having. 10 games, 10 wins, 75 goals in the process, and some real entertaining football to boot. Yesterday, we took on Petwood Seahawks in the third round of the London Cup. The London Cup. What a prestigious tournament to win. And am I really coaching a set of boys that can go all the way? Well, it's early days yet, but there's a real feeling that you do not want to draw this Southall team in the next round. The brand of football the boys are playing at the moment is absolutely breathtaking. We are passing the ball efficiently. We're not afraid to go backwards, sideways. If we can't go forwards, we're recycling the ball like a dream at the moment. Every single player shows no panic in possession. Comfortable in possession, feel no pressure. If a player shuts them down, they're comfortable to drop a shoulder and go the other way before making their pass. It's beautiful to watch. I've got this Brazil top on for a reason, because it feels like I'm managing a young Brazilian outfit, and yet we're in West London in the UK. So my lineup for yesterday. So as I say, I use this process to explain to the players a little bit about my thought process, so that by the time we meet on Saturday or Sundays, the players already know what Manny's thinking, what Manny wants from them, what their improvement objectives are, and so on. So I think this is a really good platform to get some of my messages across. So I'll start with my team and my lineup for yesterday's game. We started off with Reece in goal, who is our goalkeeper. Very competent, in good form, so you know it speaks for itself that Reece goes in goal. My back three, I took a lot of time to decide upon the right back three to start this game, and in the end I went for a formula of Jasik Vanilla Hurtado as right back, Abdi Mohammed as my centre back, and Harry Trout as my left back. Jasik gives us the complete player in right back. He's competent on the ball, doesn't panic, has great leadership skills, leads by example. When Jasik has the ball, there's no pressure on Jasik, and he looks to build attacks every time he is in possession. I think there's a more tougher tackler in the team, to be honest with you. Jasik might be the smallest player in the team, but he has the biggest bite, and he shows that week after week. Abdi is growing and growing and growing into this centre back role. At times he's already been quoted as a young Rio Ferdinand. His composure on the ball is good. He competes well. He's not slow off the mark. And Abdi is growing into a real talented centre back. So his name is first on my team sheet many weeks. And Harry Trout. I've spoken to Harry and his dad about his development curve, and I want Harry to become even more comfortable on the ball than he already is. And I believe by playing at the back, where he gets a little bit more time to get his head up and pick a pass or make a decision to drive, I think that's going to help his development rather than always being the thick of the battle in midfield. So that's the reasons behind my starting with Jasik, Abdi and Harry at the back. In midfield, whilst I've never played these two players together, I thought that this week was the right time to experiment and see what we got. So Jude Hales as my holding midfielder and Zach Brown as my attacking midfielder was a combination that I thought would work, and with a little smirk on my face, I think it went down like a house on fire. You know, really good, bright football from these two in the middle. Jude's natural game is to hold and to sit and to spray the ball from left to right. So I felt he would give the team a solid platform by playing him in the middle of the park this week. Zach Brown has been in inspirational form. The last 4 games, he's put his name in the ring for man of the match in each of the last 4 games. And I just felt that Zach, whilst he plays defensive midfield quite well. I think he's definitely improved his attacking side of his game, and by having the knowledge of having a player like Jude behind him, I just felt it would release Zach Brown a bit more to show us what he can really do in more advanced positions, and he certainly did that. On the wings, you know, I've got two players here on the wings that are flair. When you think about a flair footballer, for me, in my team, immediately Liam Locke comes to mind and Sebastian Asare comes to mind. These two players are technically sound, technically look like footballers on the ball. When they're beating players with the little shifts, the little tricks, the Cruyff turn, the scissors, these two players will bring out the tricks and kind of get you on the edge of your seats when they're on the ball. They may not always deliver, don't get me wrong, they're 10 years old. They're still very young in their development. But when they're on the ball, they get you on the edge of the seat. And more importantly, they get the defenders on their back foot. The defenders never know what's coming out of these two players. And that's a good place for me to be. Add to that the fact that these two boys can cross the ball and pass the ball effectively. I was very happy with my decision to play a midfield of Jude holding, Zach in front of him, Seb on the right, Liam on the left. There's not many teams at our level that can say they have a striker that has scored 17 goals in the first 9 games of the season. But that's exactly what Alfie Broughton's done. And in the last couple of weeks, he's actually impressed me with his decision making, with his ability to come up with the most creative ways of getting past his players, and his coolness in front of goal. Alfie Broughton has literally dragged himself from being on the peripherals of my team to now being someone that says, Manny, put me in your starting team, I won't let you down. And that's where Alfie is. And it was an easy decision for me this week to say I am going to start with my top goal scorer up front. Why wouldn't I? Liam's been effective up front, Seb's been effective up front, Jamal has scored goals up front. And with all these players at my disposal, I felt Alfie deserves a chance to start a game. And if you've scored 17 goals in 9 games and you still can't start the game, that must be a very special team that you're part of. But I decided to give Alfie a start, and he did not let me down. So I'm very, very comfortable with my decision to start Alfie Broughton. So that leaves me with 4 substitutes, and I'll give a little bit of feedback as to why they were subs for the game, so that we can all be clear, we can all sing from the same page, because I don't want anyone not knowing why they were sub. So I'll start with the easiest one of the bunch, which was Miles McLaren. Miles was pushing for a starting place in the team. I thought he was magnificent against Parkfield last week. Played really well at the back, showed lots and lots of composure. His pass completion was quite high. So Miles had put himself in the forefront of my mind, and then he didn't turn up for training. Now, this season we have a policy where if you don't train, you don't play, or at least you don't start the matches. And so it was quite easy for me to say, Miles, you've not come training, so you can't start. So Miles, that's why you were sub. The hardest one of the 3 for me was Tom Dobbin. Tom Dobbin has been our most effective trainer. In recent weeks, I've gone away from training thinking, Tom's trained absolutely exceptionally. And unfortunately, he hasn't quite been able to transfer his form in training into his form in the matches. And in the last 2 weeks especially, I've thought that Tom's pass completion hasn't been where it should be. So Tom's got lots of creative ideas, he sees lots of great things on the pitch, he loves to pass to his teammates, but just in the last 2 weeks, his pass completion, as in his A to B passes, have been intercepted or haven't quite got there. And that's the reason I felt Zach Brown would be a better option in the attacking midfield role. And the way Zach's gone on to play, Tom's actually going to have to really step his game up now and make sure the way he trains, he executes that in his matches to earn the place in the side. So Tom, if you want that feedback from me, that's for you. Play on Sundays as you're doing currently on the Saturdays in training. Then we come on to Jamal. Jamal, started off the season really well, really impressed me. I'll go as far as to say he actually surprised me the way he started off the season. Was really bright, showed some technical ability on the wings, showed some great crosses, scored some great goals. But in recent weeks, Jamal has failed to live up to those early standards he set for himself. So we're at a building phase with Jamal. He's come to the team. He's one of the newest additions to the team, and he's just having to find his feet at the moment. He's having to learn our brand of football. I want him to be composed on the ball and not give the ball away. Don't feel under any pressure when you're in possession of the ball, which is all the foundations I've given to the players that have been with me for 2 or 3 years now. And I want Jamal to just relax and enjoy himself. He has nothing to prove to me. We've signed you. You're part of the team. I just want you to now relax and learn your positions. I see Jamal as a right midfielder or right back at this stage. And he's going to have to just build and almost go through his apprenticeship. The other boys have got years of this coaching in them. So he is playing catch up, but he will catch up as long as he does the right things. And his attitude in training is great. And he just now has to execute some of the things he's doing in training in the matches. So that's my feedback to Jamal. And last but not least, we have Harry Smith. And my feedback for Harry is, again, like Jamal, he started off the season and pre-season, he started off that quite brightly in the right back position. But again, in recent weeks, I found Harry's ball retention a little bit like Tom. He's not really getting his passes from A to B at the sort of percentage we need. We want our players to be able to pass the ball with at least a 70+ pass completion rate. I want Harry to relax on the ball, enjoy his game, but know what he wants to do with the ball before the ball arrives. And I've started to see bits of that coming out in training, but as yet not quite seen enough of that in matches to say you're going to start a London Cup game at this moment in time in your development. Harry knows where he is in the team at this moment. Like Jamal, he's one of the newest in the team, so he's got, he's playing catch up just like Jamal. He's playing catch up. The other boys have had hours and hours of coaching put inside of them. So Harry just needs to relax. The comments for Harry and Jamal are quite similar. They both need to relax on the ball, but be clear that you're expected to pass the ball well in this team, and you're also expected to not panic when you're being put under pressure. That's the way we can then go forward. So Harry Smith, that's my feedback to you. And that's the reason why these 4 players started as subs on Sunday.